Hello and welcome to the Dot Connector. Well, I'm going to talk today about solutions. It's a word I hear all the time and have heard over and over. What's the solution? Where's the solutions? And I see posts on the internet that say things like, that David Icke, he never talks about solutions. Well, actually, I do, and I've talked about them and written about them at length for decades. But you see, they're the wrong solutions. The solutions that people want are those that involve someone else doing it. So when someone like Trump comes along saying he's going to bring down the deep state and all the rest of it, well, that's a good solution because he's going to do it, and those he appoints is going to do it, and we don't have to do it. But of course, history shows different. It shows that when you give your power away to politicians, royalty before that, it don't tend to end well. Because if you're looking at solutions, well, let's look at the maths. There are apparently 8 billion people in the world, and the number of people in full knowledge of what they're doing, who are manipulating and dictating the direction of the world, is absolutely tiny by comparison with the 8 billion. So it should be impossible for the few to control the many, but look the way through history, and that's exactly what's happened. Epoch after epoch, generation after generation. Why? Well, there's the divide and rule technique where you get people to fight among themselves over different belief systems. And there's this theme of looking for someone else to do it. And so I've written at length about solutions which involve personal transformation, which becomes collective transformation. But part of the solution, you see, is a crucial part, is knowing what's going on and knowing how we're manipulated by nefarious people. And that's what I've been doing all these years. But I saw a post, or I was shown a post, sent a post, by someone on the internet who said, I'm interested to know if you can think of people who moan about things, but who never offer solutions or proactively try to bring about change. And my name came up in a few replies, because I'm not telling people what they want to hear. I'm telling people what they don't want to hear, which is the savior they think is going to do it for them ain't there to do it for them. And so if you have a manipulation, which people call the deep state and Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum, and you expose that, well, in the early days of you exposing that, well, you're mad and strange and you're just a conspiracy theorist. But as it becomes, thanks to COVID and other things, becomes more obvious that that's the case, then suddenly people think, oh, yeah, you're credible. You said this and it happened. And then along comes the Trump and Musk duo, And they're telling you what you want to hear. And they're telling you they're going to bring down the deep state and they're going to bring down the World Economic Forum and all that stuff. But what they're doing is exactly the same as Klaus Schwab. They're just going about it a different way. They are demolishing the old system, which the cult they represent created, because they're now going into the next stage, far, far more extreme, of human control, involving artificial intelligence controlling everything, including the human mind and perceptions. So you are a conspiracy theorist if you talked about the World Economic Forum, Schwab, Gates, and all that stuff. But you are, in the view of previous conspiracy theorists, you are black-pilled if you point out that their new heroes, to which they have given their power away because they're going to do it for them, are not going to do it for them. They're just manipulating in a different way to bring about the same end that Klaus Schwab wants, which is an AI-controlled human world. And it's extraordinary to see how people can point out one ruse of getting there, and then think the other route to get there, targeting particular belief systems, is the answer when it's just another expression of the problem. Now, is it a solution to stay quiet about that so that people get Pied Pipered to the edge of the cliff in the same way, a different route, but in the same way to the same end of mass AI human control? No, it's not. But if you point that out, and pointing that out is a solution because you are exposing the way that people are being scammed to the same end, then you never offer solutions, you don't. Well, maybe you should think of a few. How about that? Well, I'll think of a few. I'm going to give my power away to this new hero and savior. Yeah. That's always worked well in the past, isn't it? So, exposing what people don't want to hear is, as I've found decade after decade, is not going to win you friends and influence people. It is with those that have a more expansive view of the world, but with most people it's not. Because if your solution doesn't involve someone else doing it for you, then it's not a solution worth hearing. And what I've seen since particularly COVID is people coming out of the mainstream who bought the COVID hoax and so much else, who have now become the big names and stars of the alternative media that isn't really. That's the point. There's one, for instance, called Brett Weinstein, brother of Eric Weinstein, who's a business associate of the ubiquitous, infamous Peter Thiel of AI big tech fame. And Brett Weinstein, during COVID, used to wear a red bandana around his neck while at home. So he said he could pull it over his face when anyone came to the door. knocked the door. He had glasses to stop the virus going into his eyes. And he would wash his clothes whenever he had been out. And the next thing I know is he's brought in to the alternative media with big algorithmic support and backing and promotion. And suddenly he's, in terms of people like Tucker Carlson, the go-to guy for COVID. And I do not apologize for looking at that and going, what the fricking hell is going on? What happened is these people came in to the alternative from the mainstream, and they've taken it over. Not only taken it over, they've sought to marginalize those that have been doing it for a long time, not just me, and who didn't buy COVID and all the other crap that they bought. And so this is a quote from Brett Weinstein, which kind of captures it. This is quite early on. We have an epidemic of friendly fire within the dissident community. The people involved need to level up or get off the battlefield. That should be obvious. Now, the arrogance of that statement is almost incomprehensible. And this is the way that this whole thing has worked. And they brought with them the fake, false solutions, the diversion solutions that are taking you to the same point by a different route, depending on your belief system. And to come in after people have been working for decades to expose this stuff and to say, if you're not happy with me coming in and saying what I'm saying, even though it's a diversion with fake solutions, then you need to piss off, basically. Get out of it. It's extraordinary. And Weinstein is not alone by any means. He went on to say, many dissidents do not understand media and communications. I was a journalist for decades, mate. And think that shouting the truth, even when no one is listening, will move the ball down the field. In other words, we're here now. And like I say, what they brought with them are the fake solutions, which involve giving your power away to new saviors. And what they do, it's hilarious, is they look at the people that have been doing it all these years, and they say, we're getting bigger numbers than you. Look at the numbers of views we're getting compared with you. Okay, so why do you think that is, mate? Why do you think the algorithms love those people who are repeating the new alternative media narrative, Trump and Musk, right-wing politics? Why are they getting the numbers because of the algorithms? Why are they getting the funding, absolutely fantastic funding, some of them, while those who are challenging it and are continuing to do what they've always done, which is call out power and hold power to account, no matter what form that power takes, how come they are not loved by the algorithm, but shadow banned on a scale that's laughable? On the X platform, I have something like 722,000 people who follow the page. The number of people that see what I post, a fraction of that. But not the new media that came out of the mainstream after COVID and took it over. Why is that? And so when I was driving in this morning to record this, it's only just breaking as I speak. I heard that the Tate brothers, who have been under basically house arrest or can't leave Romania for something like 2 or 3 years, were on a plane to the United States after an intervention by the Trump administration. And they are charged with many and various things, and many of which they've actually admitted on videos that are circulating widely on the internet over the years. And so I think the fact that an intervention by the Trump administration, which has apparently allowed them to head for America, I think there's one hell of a lot more to know about that, to say the least. And I'm sure it will unfold as the days pass, but that's all I know at the moment. And the reason I mention that is because we've got Andrew Tate, and then we've got Tristan Tate, his brother. And Tristan Tate has been posting things this week about me, and basically, again, saying, look at my brother, look at the numbers he gets, look at the promotion he gets, look at the views he gets, compared with you. Yeah. Why do you think that is, Tristan? Why do you think that is? Why do you think in a world of censorship that your brother and you get these big numbers, and other people who are saying something different and challenging power, whatever form it takes, instead of eulogizing it? Why do you think that is? Why do you think the Trump administration has intervened in your case? So anyway, what he said is this. The simple truth about Mr. Icke is that he is bitter. No, I'm not. Couldn't care less. I care about the truth coming out and people not being diverted from that systematically, as is happening with the Trump-Musk psyop. He wanted to be the face of the big movement. And, of course, they are now. That's the implication. And he said that I've been blocked by every prominent mover and chess piece in what is the real anti-establishment movement. You know, the one that gets all the promotion from the establishment and the algorithmic support, that one. While real journalists, real researchers operating outside of that barricade are doing absolutely fantastic work. There's many, many, many of them now exposing this stuff, but they don't get the numbers because the algorithms don't like them. And so when I started out on this journey in 1990 of uncovering all this, Andrew Tate was 4 and Tristan Tate was 2. And yet now they are the new anti-establishment, but they're not. And Tate says people knew him, meaning me, in the 1990s, but he is destined to die in obscurity. They're nice people, the Tates. Lovely. And I'm sorry that we succeeded where you failed. Now, this is the point, and it brings us back to this whole thing about solutions. They are not succeeding in identifying the real solutions. They are succeeding in promoting a diversion, a new Pied Piper route to the same end of the Great Reset and total AI control. And the takes eulogize Trump and Musk, well, in terms of Trump even more now, I would have thought. And I say they are frauds imposing the Great Reset of Klaus Schwab while claiming to oppose it. So here's Musk as an example. See what you think.
Nobody will be safe if not everybody is vaccinated.
Are you vaccinated, if I may ask?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very pro-vaccination. I believe the science is unequivocal.
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants. Just think of sensors planted into our brains.
Basically implanted in your skull. So, but it would be flush with your skull. So you basically take out a chunk of skull, put the Neuralink device in there. You'd put the electrode, you'd insert the electrode threads very carefully into the brain.
It doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you if you take a genetic editing.
It's a fusion of the physical, the digital, and the biological world. That's really the essence of the fourth industrial revolution.
A merger with biological intelligence and machine intelligence.
An effort for man to merge with machine in a healthy way.
Yes.
To beat machines, you basically have to merge with machines.
Most likely, yes.
As work is changing, is a universal basic income really a solution to this problem?
I think ultimately we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. And I think some kind of a universal basic income is going to be necessary.
Decarbonization of the economy.
Where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
I mean, my top recommendation, honestly, would be just to have a carbon tax.
This global reset is necessary.
Yep, and Elon would agree. There was a reply, there's many replies, but there was one reply to what Tristan Tate posted, which I thought was brilliant, by someone called Daniel. And he says, the type of people that Icke attracts are far more aware than the ego and materialism that you and your brother push. And this is the vast chasm between the solutions that are offered as here's your saviors and the expansive view way beyond politics of what actually is happening and the nature of the control system that is enormously greater than Trump or Harris. And so it's when you get into those deeper levels of what is this reality? Who are we? What's the nature of the I? And you go beyond the fake personalities we're told to believe is who we are, called human. That's where the solutions lie. But that means we have to do what is necessary and not have someone else do it for us because they can't. But they want us to believe they can, so we give our power to transform ourselves and collectively this reality. We give that power to them. So Daniel talks about where were the tapes during COVID? Well, where were all these mainstreamers that have come into the alternative media during COVID? Most of them were just buying it hook, line, and sinker because they hadn't got a clue what's going on. And what I'm saying is they still don't. And it's because they don't, in terms of the big, big picture, that they get this fantastic algorithmic support and promotion. So what I'm doing is promoting as often as I can those people outside of the barricade who are genuinely seeking the truth and genuinely calling out power no matter what form it takes. And exposing, yes, I am, those that are Pied Pipering people to this AI dystopia while calling it, we're winning. And on that subject, the AI agenda keeps on expanding. This is a story from this week. Microsoft, breakthrough in quantum computing with an entirely new state of matter. You see, while people are being diverted to the Trump-Musk saviors, while they're looking over there, the AI agenda just goes on getting faster and faster. So Microsoft, breakthrough in quantum computing with an entirely new state of matter. Microsoft, it says, is part of DARPA's, that's the Pentagon's program, to develop utility-scale, fault-tolerant quantum computers. And this is another expansion of what they call quantum computers, which can do things in terms of data computing that are beyond anything we've seen so far. This new architecture used to develop this new processor from Microsoft offers a clear path to fit 1 million qubits, as they call them in quantum computers, on a single chip that can fit in the palm of one's hand. Microsoft said all the world's current computers operating together can't do a 1 million qubit quantum computer, or can't do what that can do. And as I've been saying in the books for so long, quantum computers are what is meant to run this AI control system and AI human fusion. And while we see things in the public arena that, oh, Microsoft have just discovered this, in the underground bases and the secret projects, everything they need to run this system, including the advanced quantum computers, they already exist. They're just playing them out in a sequence to make you think that somehow it's being invented as we go along. No, it's not. They're sitting there waiting to be played out to run this system while the old system is being destroyed, dismantled, to allow that replacement by people like Trump and Musk, the saviors. And there was a bit of a stir this week when Elon Musk came out and said that the singularity is very close. The singularity, which is the point where it's claimed AI intelligence goes beyond human intelligence. And at that point, AI can take over everything. That's what's claimed. And so there was a response to that of either, oh, that's great, that is, come and control me. Or, oh my goodness me, I don't like the sound of that. But this Elon Musk, who claims that AI could be the end of humanity, just goes on and has ever since, turning out more and more AI. And what we're looking at is mass psychosis, where people have lost the ability, and I'm talking about those that see Trump and Musk as saviors, they've lost the ability to critically think and ask questions. I saw a post on the internet, very, very true, where someone said, amazing that the question everything crowd have stopped asking questions. But of course, if you ask questions about the heroes and the God kings, you are blackpilled. So this was the response to this announcement by Musk of the singularity being close, from Alex Jones. And he took Musk's comments as a warning. Oh, Musk, he's a genius and he's smart and he's warning us. No, he's not. It's a statement of intent. It's what is supposed to happen. That's the whole point. That's what's going on. And so why does anyone think that the Trump regime is surrounded by AI oligarchs? Why is it that Musk's mate, David Sachs, has been appointed by Trump as his AI czar and his crypto czar? Because his job is to usher in this transformation I'm warning about. So this is the alternative media responding to the danger, long planned, of the singularity and total AI control.
A few hours ago, Elon Musk made a very chilling statement, and he's obviously one of the smartest people in the world on a wide spectrum of issues. So I really respect what he has to say. By wide spectrum, he's really proven himself to be an expert in many different fields and areas, and that's something that's really, really rare. And he's got the energy and clarity and focus, really, of a true visionary. And so when he came out and said that we are approaching the event horizon, or basically at the event horizon of the singularity, that's a big deal. And you can define the singularity different ways. When AI becomes super hyper intelligent and things start accelerating, that's one definition. Or to me, the singularity means when all the data and information in the world in any 1 second is known, and most of the systems we know have become obsolete. It's generally associated in most projections with a lot of turmoil. I would describe it as the Atlantean moment, whether you believe Atlantis existed or not, the legend or the archetype of a civilization with advanced technology that gets out of control and blows it up. I mean, to me, I see it more as a cascade of little singularities and accelerations, the way I've seen history and different technologies operate. But it's true that it's all accelerating and then starts triggering faster and faster cascades towards something similar to the singularity that Ray Kurzweil talks about. But I mean, Kurzweil gets pretty delusional too. Like, I don't believe in God yet, and I'm going to become a God. And just with paperwork and old recordings of my dad, I'm going to bring my dad back. I mean, No, maybe if they scanned his brain completely and everything back then, but they didn't. And still would just be kind of a copy of his dad. So indistinguishable from his dad, maybe, but certainly not his dad, even with current technology that we know of. So this is a big deal, though, because I really respect what Musk has to say. I'd like to see people comment below about what you think about the words he said and, the huge ramifications of it. And hopefully Elon will respond to my earlier post, saying the point of no return, event horizon of there being a singularity or the event horizon of the singularity about to happen.
Like I say, critical thinking has been suspended because of the mass psychosis that's happening. And this is not just about America. This is a global agenda for total global AI control of the human race. And I've highlighted in the books over the years, yet again in my latest book, The Reveal, how Russia has an AI agenda that mirrors that of the West. And they are talking about, it's one of the things I mentioned in The Reveal, Russia's policy of, quote, constructing a global network of scientists to further research on the development of cybernetic technology with the ultimate goal of transferring a human individual's consciousness to an artificial carrier. That's what they all want to do, and they're doing it in Russia. But, Putin's the good guy, isn't he? Putin's not the same as all the others. And this is a report by Greg Reese on how cryptocurrencies, so beloved, of course, of Trump and Musk and MAGA, are the back door of control via an AI digital network.
The old, antiquated system of paper documents is being dismantled and replaced with artificial intelligence, and millions of MAGA fans are celebrating this without even considering the replacement, which will be digital. Blockchain technology, which appeared mysteriously in the Bitcoin white paper, is well suited for tagging and tracing every living person on the planet and every transaction we make. In the current system, a birth certificate of title is registered for every child born. This is provided a paper record with minimal information. But with biometric data, the new system is capable of assigning a digital ID to every living man, woman, and child born. Locked into the blockchain from day one, every person's carbon footprint can be monitored, their compliance measured, and their overall value to the system can be calculated in real time. Blockchain is an immutable, time-stamped record of every interaction and exchange. And it's not just individuals who will have a digital ID. Every business, every product, and everything we interact with will have a digital ID. This is called tokenization, and it's happening right now. From the perspective of control, it is the most effective method of controlling human behavior that the world has ever known. And while many argue that the blockchain is not capable of doing all this, the problem has already been solved. It's called Hashgraph, and it appears to be ready for deployment. Hashgraph is exponentially more efficient than blockchain. Able to handle hundreds of thousands of transactions per second, it uses practically zero energy. It is the perfect digital branding iron for human chattel in the new AI digital control grid.
On and on and on it goes. While people are looking in that direction, at the we're winning of Trump and Musk, that is what is unfolding. Faster and faster. And I'll just finish this public part of the Dot Connector with this tweet from a prominent MAGA, one of those that Tristan Tate says is a member of the real anti-establishment movement. His name's Matt Walsh of the Israel-controlled Daily Wire, responding to this week's Musk demand that all federal workers must send an email with bullet points of what they have done this week. And if they don't do it, they'll be fired. And you've got this MAGA hysteria about firing all these federal workers without asking the question, actually, but what do they do? We've had situations where nuclear workers who are looking after the nuclear stockpile have been fired, and then they realize, oh my God, we fired people doing that. Oh, get hold of them. And they've deleted their bloody emails. They can't get hold of them. I mean, the whole thing's chaos, exactly as it's meant to be, because they're destroying the system to replace it with another. And there's no question of, yeah, but what do they do? Never mind just firing all these people. You see these postings by people on the internet, fire them all. What? Whatever they do. And this is a classic from Matt Walsh. Fire any federal worker who didn't answer the email. Fire any who complained about the email. Fire any who complained privately about the email. Fire any who did anything but cheerfully and promptly answer it. These are people with families and kids and bills to pay, but that's the same Matt Walsh who made his name challenging and exposing the cancel culture of the woke mentality and demanding freedom from the imposition of the state upon the people. Fire them all, even for what they said privately. This is what mass psychosis does. You lose the ability to think straight and to critically think. And if that's the solution, we're up the Swanee without a paddle. But we don't have to be. So that's it from the public part of the Dot Connector this week. If you want to see the rest, and there's a lot more I'm going to cover of many different subjects, then go to iconic.com after 5 p.m. UK every Thursday. See you later.